I actually had lunch with Richard Hadley a couple of days before. Michael Liner was there, and he just talked about there was a guy who was knighted over there who was a big property tycoon who I knew well, and Michael Liner ended up working for, but he put us together with Richard. And I just remember him speaking about the positivity and about just being really positive and just filling the changing room with, before you go out there, with win. And we did. And we went out there and played the house down, and I think we won about 21-9 or 10. Yeah. But I knew from there that we with a young team going forward, the likes of Kearns, Daly, McKenzie, Willie O, John Eales wasn't in the team yet, no. Tim Horan, Jason Little, Rob Edgerton, that we're only going to get better. I think that they made some mistakes in their leadership selection. They dropped Buck Shelford. I won't go into too much about that, but I think that played in our hands. Yep. I mean, we played the next year, 1991, 2 matches for the Bledisloe. We beat them at the Sydney Football Stadium, about a similar score, 22-10. Rob Edgerton plucked a ball out of John Kerwin's hands. It was a fantastic win. We went over to win the Bledisloe to Eden Park in Auckland. We lost 6-3. Mike Liner it's not a criticism, but he had a bad day at the office. He missed 5 shots for goal. And I was in Auckland about 2 months ago, Greg, and I remember going into the city with a guy that is a good mate. And as we drove from the airport into the CBD of Auckland, we drove past the Ellerslie racecourse. And 2 months ago, I said, mate, that's where we won the World Cup in 91. He said, what are you talking about? That's where we had our aftermatch dinner. And when we lost 6-3. Mm-hmm. So the All Blacks had retained the Bledisloe. We'd lost it again, as in it was 1-1, but they retained it. Yep. And we have, after every match, what we call a happy hour, but that wasn't very happy that particular evening before the dinner. And I'll never forget when we got in a group, at the end of that happy hour, before we went to the aftermatch dinner, and I just remember saying to the guys, do not forget the feeling that we have now, because I think there's a good chance that we'll play these guys again in 2 months in the World Cup in a knockout match like we did in the semi-final in Dublin. I said, bottle the way you feel now. And I knew that when we played them in the semi-final, we'd smash them because of that disappointment. So you've got to, leadership, building teams is about learning from your mistakes, about remembering things, about, as I said, bottling that experience. The semi-final at Dublin, Lansdowne Road, was arguably one of the best games I was ever involved in.